4. Hey guys, we're back. It's Bob and it's
Ramon.
Hey, how you doing? So this is really great, isn't it? This is the last video we're doing at this wonderful man David's house.
Yeah, David's. We've pillaged his collection, his fantastic collection.
Incredible collection.
He's got more, but we've confined it to the ES-330's.
Yeah, incredible. And the song we started off there, Bob. What was its name?
It was The House of the Rising Sun. And
it's a song that you're allowed, and if you go into a guitar shop, you have to play that song, don't you?
Well,
and you get a free pack of. Yeah, that one as well. But I know that, guys, if this is a true story, not that one. But if you go into a guitar shop and you play House of the Rising Sun, I promise you will get a free pack of string from the guitar shop owner. That's true, isn't it?
It may well be in your mind. I've never had that good fortune.
Well, try it. Maybe you need to play it.
They charge me pounds and pounds for my strings.
Maybe you need to play it, just work on it a bit.
But they know I'm the kind of guy, I'm going to give you an intro to the bass. And they know I'm the kind of guy who goes home and boils his strings regularly.
Okay. Right.
As do many bass players.
They do, yeah.
That's a segue.
Unless you're a fan of James Jamerson. But anyway, I digress. Look, that song, basically, the reason we started that song is because Chas Chandler played one of these basses
in the Animals.
In the Animals, with the amazing Eric Burden and the great Alan Price on the keyboards. We had David, actually, who owns these instruments, actually, on the keyboards, playing Hammond. So Chas Chandler, and did you know, I'm going to tell you an interesting fact that David actually told me when we were speaking earlier, that Noel Redding, when he joined the Jimi Hendrix Experience, he didn't actually have a bass because he was a guitar player.
He was.
And if you listen to his bass playing, it kind of sounds like a guitar player playing bass sometimes. But anyway.
It does.
He didn't. So Chas Chandler lent him, guess what bass? One of these.
A Gibson EB-2.
To play on the first recordings of the Jimi Hendrix Experience before Noel bought his Fender bass, his Fender Jazz bass, So that's what you're hearing on the early releases, the earliest release of Jimi Hendrix Experience. You're hearing one of these.
Now, when's that from? That little chap.
Well,
it looks early. It looks early 60s to me.
Well, this bass is actually from 1964. 1964.
Okay.
Let that sink in. Yeah.
It has sunk in.
That was when you had your 1964 was when you bought your first house, had your first wife. Yeah?
Not quite.
No?
Nice try.
Sorry.
Now, what I need to know, this guitar had several evolutions. I've got a feeling that the very early ones of this guitar, from the maybe late 50s, early 60s, didn't they have through tuners? They didn't have these later batwing tuner things. I think these came in early 60s. Is that right? I'm sure I've seen them with like no tuning pegs sticking out the side, a bit like banjo tuners.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
Great big round neck.
That's true. Yeah.
Huge humbucking pickup in the neck
which
position.
is very powerful.
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
These are known as mudbuckers because they sound like that.
Now,
and then you've got this button.
Tell me what this is, Bob. Tell me what this switch is. I don't know if you can see this, guys.
This is a switch that takes the guitar from not very easy to use to very difficult to use, because it basically you pop it in, or does it flip or press?
It presses. Apparently, this was from a lampshade.
It's an electric lamp switch.
Yeah.
Cheap, and that basically it puts a capacitor in the circuit and it makes the guitar even muddier. And then
takes all the bass out, doesn't it?
No, it takes all the top off.
Oh,
so it's literally.
And the reason was it because of the amps were so bad back in the day?
I think the fashion in those days. Remember, you're coming out of double basses. Mm-hmm. Fender had rewritten the thing. People did not call it the electric bass; they called it the Fender bass.
Who was the first electric bass player?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you guys.
50s.
It was Monk Montgomery.
Was he part of a wrecking crew or something like that? Or?
No, he was Wes Montgomery's brother.
Ah,
because Wes had two brothers. One played, as far as I know, one played piano, and one played bass.
Okay.
Oh no, one played the vibes. Sorry, one played the vibes, vibraphone. The vibes, and the other brother played bass,
Cool
and he was
family.
called Monk Montgomery, and he was a double bass player, but he was the first electric bass player.
So this is consistent with the other ES guitars that we've shown in these videos. This is because the body is the body from a 335. It's not different size, same body,
Same size, is it?
same size.
So basically, this could be, if you took all this stuff, put two paths in, it's a 335.
Well, kind of. I mean, you'd have to do a few other things, and then it's got this unique bridge. I think this bridge also appeared on the Gibson EB-1. The EB-0 is an SG, the EB-3 is an SG,
Right.
the EB. This is an EB-2. The EB-1, which was the violin-shaped thing.
Yeah,
Right.
which Jack Bruce played at the reunion.
He did.
2005.
That's right. And this bridge is all unique to these guitars. So there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
But the reason it's here is not because it's a particularly great bass, but because it's absolutely, this completes the set of ES guitar.
But it's got a great sound. I've got to say, this sounds really
And
great.
studios love them. The same reason as they love my dad's Hofner, which is equally muddy, is sometimes a studio wants a boom, boom, boom,
I've got to say though, Bob,
not a donk, donk, donk.
I've got to say, Bob, this neck is absolutely fantastic.
It sounds so woody.
Yeah, it's just
And
got-
flat wound strings. Has it ever been played like that?
Okay, anyway, but yeah. So this is very very interesting. But this has got flats on it, hasn't it? So
Yeah,
a la
flats.
Paul
So
McCartney.
it's going to be very
James
dunky
Jones.
as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's your EB-2
Oh, also reflector knobs.
reflector knobs, which came in 60. Yeah, 60. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about this? Look at this nice finish. This beautiful
Walnut
brown.
finish on the back, lovely shape,
Very
lovely
nice.
neck.
Very nice.
So that's that. And then we've got the companion guitar, which is an early. This is about 62 or 63. It's one of the early block neck ES-330 TDCs. So T for thin line, D for double pickups, C for cherry. And it all looks pretty straight to me. It's got a kind of lovely colour, a little bit of finish checking and wear. And as you know, I love 330s. Now the 330 is a unique guitar in this collection because the 330 is semi-acoustic. It's hollow.
Hollow, yeah.
So the good news is it's great for noodling in front of the television. The bad news is it's really hard to gig because they tend to feed back. But this has got a pretty typical 62-ish, 63 profile neck. So the necks had been thinner, they're coming fatter again. And the only point of note here is that this has had Grover tuners put on it, aftermarket, because they should be cheap strip Clusons with white buttons. But apart from that, this is all there. And these
So
two.
I'm guessing this is obviously not hollow. This is like a 335. This is
You can hear.
yeah. It's like a 330.
Yeah,
It's
well,
got a sound post
this-
going down. Yeah, that's hollow.
This is hollow. Yeah. So that's.
And also, just talking about the actual, because this is something this is something Bob missed out on the first video we made coming back. He actually missed a detail, which I'm surprised that he missed this detail. But did you know, Bob, that on the 59 335s, the top was sometimes thinner? The top was thinner.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah,
we both know that now, but we didn't know it when we came here, did
just
we?
a detail I
No.
think you missed out there, Bob.
No, you're right. The top for the 58s and 59s was thinner. There were less plies in
Right.
the laminate.
Oh, was it really?
That's why they were
Okay.
thinner.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and that makes them slightly livelier, like the one I was playing was slightly livelier, brighter.
So your 59 at home has a thinner top.
No, it's thicker. I don't know for sure, but
Right.
on the basis of listening to the one we played earlier
Yeah.
and that one, I would say mine is probably a 4 or 5 ply top.
Right. Okay.
It's slightly
Because I think Jimmy
less lively.
It's interesting. Jimmy D'Acquisto, the great famed protege of D'Angelico.
Of D'Angelico, yeah.
I think he always did a 5-ply
Did he?
laminate.
Did he?
That's he's so I'm guessing.
I mean, in previous videos, we've discussed the fact that the difference between a Gibson ES-175 and a Gibson L4, they look identical. Okay, the L4s originally were acoustic,
yeah,
but you could get them with pickups.
with a solid top.
But the L4 is a carved top. The 175 is a laminated top, and the reason the 175 is the successful jazz guitar, been in continuous production forever, is because jazz players like the laminate top better
Absolutely.
because it feeds back less.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that, I mean, a friend of mine has an L4 and it's wonderful to play.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like a 330. It can get ahead of
You
itself.
play the G string and it goes on forever.
There you go. Now, other things to know about the 330 uniquely is that until 1967 or 8, the neck is effectively stuffed 2 frets deeper into the body. Right? It's shorter. The whole guitar is shorter. And in about 67, 68, they basically configured it the same as a 335. And so you get, instead of the neck joining the body at the 16th, it joins at the 18th. So you get about another inch of length on the guitar.
You know, another company that did that was Guild with the Starfires.
Did they do the same thing?
I think they shifted, the neck as well.
I never knew that about Guild.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
we should
they
ask our friend who's been on the videos, Tim Pells.
Tim Pells, yeah.
By the way, he's just refinished his... he's had his blue Nightbird built.
We're going to have to do a Nightbird
That's going to be... We're going to have to do another Nightbird show because of that. Anyway, back to the knitting.
Yeah.
So 330s are the odd men out. There's also, if you're really interested in 335s and these kind of things, and P90 pickups, there's also a little quirk in about late 90s, early noughties. Gibson made some 335s with twin P90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're modern.
Oh, yes.
So there's no kind of, it's not vintage, darling, and all the rest of it. But
yeah.
a friend of mine had one of these. He sold it,
Yeah.
and it subsequently keeps on turning up here and there. I don't think he should ever have sold it. I thought it was a really interesting
Great
guitar.
idea. Yeah, I remember seeing those 335s with P90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always wondered, are they hollow bodies or...
It's
they're not.
It's solid. So
Solid.
it's a real mongrel of the two.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
really interesting. So that's a non-vintage twist in the ES.
And so
saga.
what year are we talking with this?
Is this 62 or 63? 62.
So this is the 62.
Very early block inlays then.
Yeah. So kind of like quite a bit of the holy grail because it's got the nice nut width,
Yeah.
nice sized neck.
Yeah. The nut width didn't change until, and it changed. It didn't happen like that. It happened gradually. It's 64, 65.
Yeah.
Really 65.
Yeah, because this has also got a really nice nut width as well. Just a great shape on this.
I mean, my
this
Epiphone Texan acoustic
Yeah.
is a transition one, so it's not as wide as the early ones, and it's not as narrow as the horrid late ones. It's in between, but it's still wide enough to play.
And coming back to this bass bob, I think this is a really playable instrument, and I really like it. I would be very happy, having this in the studio as a studio bass. Just for the earlier sort of.
They're not that expensive,
right.
And also to make it easier too. Remember by the time that was made, early 60s, Gibson had bought Epiphones. So Epiphones are now being made on the same benches by the same people as Gibsons.
Right.
So, for example, my Epiphone 230T,
Yep.
some would call it an early Casino.
Yep.
It's a 330. Casinos are 330s, right? An Epiphone Rivoli is that, but with an Epiphone headstock.
Right.
And you can pick up an Epiphone Rivoli for not much money at all.
There you go, guys. You get lots of tips on this channel. Bob's wisdom.
The hot
there.
tip. I've just overheated the market by Rivolis by 300%. But yeah.
Buy us a beer.
Yeah.
If you see us, buy us a beer and shake our hand.
But for now,
yeah,
it's the end of our trawl of this particular collection of this little cluster of few videos. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please feedback and comment as usual.
It's been emotional, hasn't it?
It has been quite emotional. We look quite dry-eyed, but really they're a little moist.
And also, I mean, this is a great new format that we're doing. Nice, short and sweet videos. Let us know what you think about these.
Yes, please do.
And we're going to continue doing this because I think 15 minutes we were actually boring ourselves, weren't we?
Well, the trouble is we got into sex and politics and gender reassignment.
Mainly him, sex and politics, and I was just talking about guitars.
But finally, on signing out, we should say thank you to David, our host for today, who's been in 2 of the previous videos, for letting us crawl all over his fantastic collection of lovely, clean, well looked after, loved guitars.
Yeah,
magic.
Thanks, then. So God bless, guys, and it's goodbye from
him, and it's goodbye from
me.
Him.
Take care.
Ciao.